on the Xbox. Because that's where I throw the fetuses.
The game starts with the lowest quality JPEG logo I've ever seen, followed by the game saving my save game. After this, you know what? I don't know. You get no explanation on what's going on. It's been years since I've seen this movie, so if I had to guess, this is the ending of the movie that we're starting on. But Christ on a bike, how do you think that idea came up?
Okay, so how do we start this game? With the end.
Yeah, the game just throws you into the middle of a story and doesn't contextualize anything. You're breaking into a house for some reason, smashing up the garden for some reason, and then stealing food for some reason. This goes completely wrong, and then the game's second story begins with you having to go and steal more food for some reason. Either this game has no plot or Kojima wrote it.
We've got to stop him before every animal on Earth is capped.
Too late. I already capped my dog last night.
This was another game I remember playing for hours as a kid, and after revisiting this classic from my childhood, I don't get why. Not because it's a bad game or anything, but because it's so boring. What you have here is a basic beat 'em up with puzzles, if your idea of a puzzle is doing a big fart on a rat. You get given a dump truckload of levels here. Some of them are about 10 minutes, some of them are 90 seconds, and there are plenty of one-off minigame levels just like in Shark Tale. But the big difference here is the main game connecting these moments together. This isn't an underwater fit simulator. This is a 3D beat 'em up with extremely light platforming. You run painfully slowly, you jump, you hit things with one button, you have a special attack button that you need to build up, you can find armor to use and get extra weapons that last not very long, and you have no control over the camera, meaning that all the stages feel limited and extremely cramped to the point of making you go But like, it's not awful, it works, it looks fine, it's just so by the numbers it's upsetting, and there's absolutely no flourishes anywhere. Was there supposed to be sound there? There's no special transitions between the levels, there's no fancy animations on the text, and even during the game, none of the weapons feel like they have any oomph to them at all. Look, I'm just saying that if I'm playing as a skunk with a hammer, I want to feel it. I did it! I did it! Can you please take a step back? I can smell you from here.
Today's haul puts us over the edge.
Don't you mean over the hedge?
In fact, what was it that I said earlier?
Not because it's a bad game or anything.
Well, no, I take that back. This game sucks. The only thing it has going for it is beating up mammals, and often the game doesn't even require you to do that. Unless the objective tells you to, you can ignore everything everywhere and run by to the end of the stage, only to be greeted with,
We're all meeting at the end of the street. See you there.
The greatest lip syncing I think I've ever seen, so I'm gonna throw over the hedge, over the hedge. Okay, what have I got to look at next? I'm out of here, I'm gone. Thanks for everything, house. Satnav, please take me as far away as possible from over the hedge on the DS.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Why not?
Your destination is behind you.
This is Hammy Goes Nuts, an exclusive for the Nintendo DS. Featuring Hammy.
It's the best game!
Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the burbs, he saw you. And if that wasn't enough to turn you away, then maybe the most horrifying intro cutscene I've ever seen will. What's with this hairy meatloaf slowly and creepily nibbling away at this tree? I feel like I'm about to be jump scared. There are 3 save games already on this cartridge, and not a single one bothered to play the game past 0%, so now I'm very excited. Oh, and the music on these menus has really kicked up a gear. I'm starting to get hyped now. Do you want to know how Hammy did indeed go nuts? Well, I'll tell you. By controlling everyone else other than Hammy and doing exactly the same stuff as the Xbox version of the game, but without any fighting, running 3 times slower, while tapping on random objects with a touchscreen to make the animals vibrate, and while this man looks like a sheep! This game is just insipid. There's nothing to it. You drag yourself agonizingly slowly around the area like you're pulling a lawnmower backwards. You tap on an item to pick it up, wait for the game to show you exactly where you need to put the item, and that's it. This is a puzzle game where the puzzle is already solved. And if the game doesn't show you where to go, it's okay, because that means the item belongs less than a foot away from where it was supposed to be already. Hammy Goes Nuts for the DS is just like my pencil. There's no point. Why is it even called Hammy Goes Nuts? It's got nothing to do with Hammy on his own, or his nuts. Did they just use Hammy's name and face to sell copies? Was he the most marketable character? Do kids really like this face? Or the inside flesh of a squirrel's cheeks? I mean, fair enough, you control him to start with, but the story and objectives have nothing to do with him. The other characters control exactly the same way he does, and by the way, the game is about us working together to steal food because we don't have any, and yet none of the animals will bother to lift a finger until I give them snacks. We don't have any snacks, that's why we're here, you cretin!
Hey, does anybody remember Turbo?